All right, so we have here the new Overland Vehicle Systems ground tent. It's going to be the hub style tent, very similar to other ones you may have seen. We do currently use the Gazelle tent, so this is going to be comparing to the Gazelle. But this quick video, I wanted to do the first opening of it and showing you first impressions of the tent right here in the backyard. I do have my dogs out here, so I apologize in advance for any noise from them or if they jump on me while we're doing this, but I have not opened this yet. So this is the first time opening this bag. It did arrive today, and I will say the first impression of this bag, it's big. If you have any other hub tents, you know that it can be hard to get back into the bags. The tent that I do have is the Gazelle T4 Overland, and the bag that comes with that is nice and oversized, so you can fit a lot of stuff in there. So I'm very happy to see that OVS has the bigger bag on there. It's a good quality material, and the price point on this is going to be less than the T4 Overland. I will put the current prices up as of today on the video. I did buy the Gazelle at full price, and Overland Vehicle Systems was kind enough to send this to me for the review here. So I just wanted to give you first impression of it, and then we will set both tents up, put them side by side, and go through our thoughts as we continue to use the products. So let's open it up. So inside everything's nicely packed, just like the Gazelle Overland. You do have, I'm assuming this is going to be the footprint on the ground. So you've got your footprint to be able to use on the ground underneath the tent. Not going to set this up today during the first impression. This is very similar to the T4. The main difference I saw online was the rainfly, and I'm assuming this is the rainfly, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. We also have the tent poles for the rainfly. So there is going to be a major difference between the Gazelle and the Overland Vehicle Systems tent is the tent poles on the rainfly. And we will go over that in a little while and talk about the pluses and minuses to having the tent poles versus the one that just kind of pops onto the tent with the Gazelle. Obviously we have the tent itself. We have a bag of tent stakes. It's going to be a bag of tent stakes, average tent stake, and some guidelines in here as well. All right, let's open up the tent and see what it looks like. All right, we are going to set this tent up for you. And I am going to go ahead and start the stop clock here. I'm just going to set it up as I would anywhere else. I do have experience with the Gazelle tent, and I'm assuming this operates the same. Minute 12, and that's also fighting with the dog. Obviously it's not the rainfly. We'll go through that in a little while as well. But let's take a closer look at it. All right, let's take a look inside. First glance, the size is probably within an inch or two of the Gazelle tent. Material is very similar. I did notice though this seems more of a blackout material perhaps. Floor is very similar. There is a difference in the floor. This one is not removable, which has its pluses and minuses. I have read with the Gazelle that the way the Velcro is around the poles, some bugs can get in. I have not had that problem, but I have only cold camped in it. I have not camped with bugs. However, OVS has thought about that, and they have put on both sides zippers. So you can unzip the floor in that section and sweep out your stuff. There goes one of my dogs out the tent. Another thing I've noticed with the zipper, you can run in your heat and or air conditioning if you are so inclined to have an air conditioner while camping. But we do camp quite a bit in the cold, And that is nice to be able to run your heater through there. Don't mind Goose, he's just running in and out of the doors. Zippers are very smooth. I do notice they have the same style door opening. What I mean by that is this cover will cover up any rain from the top of the zipper. One complaint I've seen about the Gazelle tent is the zipper can get snagged up when you're trying to open it one-handed. So let's see how the OVS does opening one hand. Pretty smooth. Now, I will say I've never had that issue with the Gazelle either. It doesn't seem like this material is quite as tight, which might be why it's a little easier to open. So one thing I am noticing is there is no screen door here. It's just the flap for the door. I guess that's personal preference. I don't mind it. There are plenty of windows in here. Let's go ahead and open them up. Zippers are very smooth. And of course, you have the screen roof, so airflow in here is not going to be a problem. I'm not sure if it's just my eyes deceiving me. I feel like this door is a little bit wider at the bottom. I don't know for sure, but I have fallen more than once trying to climb out of that D-shaped door in the Gazelle. So yeah, first impressions of this, I'm pretty impressed. Especially at this price point. Let's take a look at the Rainfly. All right, we're gonna put this Rainfly together. Never done this, first time opening this. Let's figure it out. And I'm gonna also run that timer. So we're gonna go ahead and start that timer again at fresh, 0. Let's figure this out. Okay, struggled there a little bit. 3 minutes, 50 seconds. And that was with me fighting with the poles, trying to keep it in view of the camera. So overall, we're at 5 minutes to set it up, from start to finish. And that was the first time out of the box. All right, let's take a look at this Rainfly. So, same material as the tent. Clips right onto each 4 corners there. And then you have guy lines. I did not put the guy lines out, so yes, that will take a little extra time. I'm torn on the design of the Rainfly. I like the ease of putting the Rainfly on the Gazelle, which I will show you in the tent. However, I'm tall. I'm 6'4", so putting that on is really not a big deal for me. It can be really difficult if you're short. This design with the poles does make the Rainfly nice and rigid. As you could see, I was able to put it on over top very easily from the side. So again, personal preference. I will say, having the poles nice and rigid keeps this thing up and off the top of the tent, which I think will probably provide better airflow. I would assume it'll also have better water resistance or water shedding than the one that straps right onto the tent. But overall, very easy to set up. Very durable looking materials. Everything feels nice. Easy to strap right onto the tent. I would definitely recommend putting in the guy lines. But yeah, overall, first impressions, I'm pretty impressed. We'll definitely get some more detailed information on this. What do you think, Renegade? You like it? Goose, what do you think? Do you like it? I think it's Renegade and Goose approved.